For the first time since being found guilty, former Congresswoman Corrine Brown is speaking to the public.
I just know that the Lord have not left me yet.
Tonight, why she was in court again today and the real reason a juror was dismissed. Plus, busted online. How several First Coast men were caught trying to lure children for sex. And SpaceX makes history. You won't believe how big this rocket really is. First Coast News at 11 starts now.
But first, we begin with some information that we just got into our newsroom. A woman who was found with gunshot wounds in Arlington this evening was actually pushed out of a moving vehicle. It's a story we first brought to you as breaking news at 6. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office detectives initially thought it was a hit and run, but now witnesses say she was pushed out of a black SUV traveling north on Cortez Road. No word yet on the woman's identity.
I'm going through the fire, but it's not over.
Corrine Brown breaks her silence today for the first time since being found guilty on 18 felonies. And if you listen to the former Congresswoman and her lawyer speak, her case may be far from over.
And we have new information tonight on what led to a juror being dismissed. But first, an exclusive look at evidence against her that the public has not seen outside of the courtroom. First Coast News' Stephen Dial begins our team coverage tonight live outside of the federal courthouse. Stephen?
Heather, we obtained hundreds of documents and photos that the prosecution used against Corrine Brown. Despite all of that stacked against her and a jury finding her guilty, today she says she's still innocent.
Hi, I asked could I speak to you all. I just wanted to say hi.
We saw a happier and talkative Corrine Brown after court Monday. It was a different picture last Thursday when she was found guilty on 18 corruption and fraud charges.
I'm looking forward, as my pastor says, to the next phase of my life. This is not the end.
Brown said she went to church Sunday and spent Mother's Day with her mom. Her attorney says this case is not over. He plans to file multiple motions. We exclusively obtained hundreds of trial exhibits that the public hasn't seen outside of court. Most of them were financial documents. Others were photos from more than a dozen surveillance cameras of Ronnie Simmons. Simmons was Brown's chief of staff and most trusted advisor. The photos show Simmons withdrawing money from the One Door for Education account. One Door is the charity at the center of this case. Prosecutors say Brown used that money from the charity as a slush fund. The jury was also shown pictures from events put on by Brown, including a 50th birthday party for her daughter and a $750 cake. The jury also saw exhibits of an invitation to see Beyonce live. Events like these, the government said, were funded with charity money. As for Brown, she still maintains her innocence.
I am innocent, and my attorney will say anything else other than that.
This is just the first step, according to Brown and her attorney. Brown says she is thankful to those who support her. She believes that her name will eventually be cleared.
I'm going through the fire, but it's not over.
We now turn our attention to the dismissed juror. We finally know the real reason why he was dismissed. Julia Janae has been digging through court transcripts all day, and she now joins us with that side of the story. Julia.
That's right, Stephen. This all started Tuesday when a juror expressed concern to the court about another juror who spoke about higher beings and Corrine Brown. We now know that that concern led to a lengthy inquiry by the court about juror number 13 and that juror's convictions and deeply held beliefs.
2 days into deliberations, comments by a juror in the Corrine Brown case brought things to a pause. An 80-page transcript shows the judge questioned juror 13, asking when there was a mention of higher beings. The juror clarified, saying, "I mentioned it in the very beginning when we were on the first charge, that the Holy Spirit told me that Corrine Brown was not guilty on all charges." Judge Corrigan made it clear that sincerely held religious beliefs and a juror praying for guidance are not grounds to dismiss a juror. But the court decided beyond a reasonable doubt that juror 13's belief in an outside force inhibited his ability to serve as a fair and impartial juror.
To the dismissal of juror number 13, we think that juror number 13 never demonstrated that he couldn't be fair and impartial.
Corrine Brown's attorney said they objected to the dismissal and believe Brown should get a new trial.
When you have this type of juror activity, it's enough to raise a concern.
Brown's pastor, Bishop Rudolph McKissick Jr., said he respects the legal process.
If they sat through the trial and heard all of the quote-unquote evidence and felt like the quote-unquote evidence confirmed their conviction, I don't really see where the problem is with that.
McKissick says Brown's own deeply held beliefs are what keep her fighting this conviction.
In private moments where there's no one in the room but she and I've heard her say to me, this is my name. This is my name at stake. And
Now, during jury selection, before this trial ever began, the juror number 13 stated that he did not hold any deep religious beliefs that would affect his ability to look at the evidence fairly. But Judge Corrine said that the jurors' statements after the deliberations began told a different story. Reporting from the Information Center, Julia Janae, First Coast News.
Julia and Stephen, thank you for breaking that down for us. To read more on the case against Corrine Brown, just go to our website, firstcoastnews.com. Our team has done extensive reports about the trial and what led up to the guilty verdict. You can find it all on our website.
This just in moments ago, one of the teenagers who escaped from a juvenile facility has now been captured. St. Johns County deputies say 18-year-old Jose Rodriguez has been found and taken back into custody. And they believe that they know where 16-year-old Earl Bostic is. They think he is in Hastings tonight within a 3-block area of North Main Street and Harris Street. They say residents in the Hastings area are urged to remain vigilant.
On the ground. Get on the ground.
New tonight, 3 local men, including a retired Navy employee, have been arrested in a sex sting in Central Florida. Police say that Navy employee, 58-year-old William Parshall, booked a hotel room in Daytona Beach for his encounter. Sheriff Mike Chitwood says what he found was so disturbing that he, quote, needed to take a shower afterward. And here in Jacksonville, 21 other men were arrested today for allegedly trying to meet children as young as 13 years old online. One of those men worked with 3rd graders at Palencia Elementary in St. Johns County. Many parents online are outraged they weren't told about this until they heard about it on the news.
As a parent, I think I'd want to know, but as an officer or the officials, I think it's kind of important maybe to not show all your cards right away, as long as the teacher is off campus.
The school district says they waited to tell parents so that they would not compromise the investigation.
And tonight, a Jacksonville volleyball coach is speaking out. Sarah Powers Barnhart sued the AAU, alleging that a coach sexually abused her when she was in high school and his star player. That coach was banned at one point from USA Volleyball. So why is he back on the court? In just 3 minutes, the results of our investigation.
Well, it is the last thing any parent wants to hear. A 5-year-old boy shot and in critical condition.
And tonight, police are still trying to figure out who pulled the trigger. This happened yesterday on the west side. The father told investigators he was inside of a bedroom when he heard a gunshot from the living room. He ran out and found his little boy shot. The father said he then grabbed the child, ran down the street to his parents' home and called 911. 2 younger siblings who were inside at the time. Police and DCF are now investigating.
The search will continue tomorrow morning for a missing swimmer in St. Johns County. 20-year-old Skylar Taylor, an FSCJ student, disappeared near the St. Augustine Inlet Sunday night. Search crews say heavy winds have made waters very choppy. Boaters, pilots, and people who live near the coast and intracoastal waterways are urged to call first responders if they see anything so that it can be investigated. Well, it's happened again. Another bear spotted here on the First Coast. So in just a few minutes, where this one was spotted early in the morning.
And did you see a spectacular sight in the Florida skies tonight? The reason tonight's launch was so special.
And another special day at the beach tomorrow. Farther inland, the heat will begin to build. We'll take it beyond Duval and toward our next chance of needed rain in just a few moments.
Parents of kids in sports know the sales pitch. A high-profile coach promises college scholarships to your budding superstar. All they have to do is trust the coach. But who's protecting the trusting kids once the parents are sold? We poured over hundreds of pages of transcripts from a hearing involving a USA volleyball coach in 1995. 3 of his former players allege that he sexually abused them. Tonight, you will hear from them. The coach, Rick Butler, was never criminally charged, but he was at one time suspended for life by USA Volleyball. So why is he back in the gym? It's a question one Jacksonville volleyball coach is asking. For her, it's personal. She is one of Rick Butler's alleged victims.
You got to play D and hit so you don't have a wing.
Volleyball is a game of boundaries.
Sit, good control.
On the court, the lines are clear.
Save it, save it.
Anything outside them is off limits.
Hey, Joy, remember, you're an off hitter, you're up for tips.
It's a game that Sarah Powers Barnhart mastered.
There you go, way to be smart, good.
Teen star, turned pro, turned coach.
Hey, fight your platform.
She started playing club volleyball at Sports Performance Volleyball outside of Chicago when she was 15.
BP, you're an animal. Nice digs. It was like a cult, really.
Her coach, Rick Butler, promised to take her to the next level. He ran one of the most successful junior volleyball programs in the country and was her surest path to a college scholarship.
Rick made it really clear that if you played for anybody else, you probably weren't going to get that scholarship, that this was the only place you were going to get it. So you were well aware, you were tied in and you needed to commit to whatever that meant.
What that meant for Sarah was something completely out of bounds.
Practice covering your hitter.
In a lawsuit filed in 2016 against the AAU, Sarah alleges Butler sexually abused her while he was her coach and she was his star player. From the time she was 16 until she was 18, she says in her complaint, Butler sexually molested her.
It was a pretty rough time for me.
The first time she says he crossed the line was on an out-of-town volleyball trip.
And he explained to me that I needed to follow him blindly, and it means that I had to follow whatever he said whenever he said it. And at that point, he leaned over and kissed me.
That was just the beginning. Sarah says she lost her virginity to a coach she trusted.
And the sexual abuse started that summer.
How many times did Rick Butler sexually abuse you?
More than I can count. Yeah, hundreds.
You're playing to not make an error. You didn't hit that ball like I know you can.
In 1995, Sarah told USA Volleyball's Ethics and Eligibility Committee that Butler sexually abused her. That committee found the allegations credible. In this letter to her attorney, the chair of the committee wrote, quote, "There is no question he is a talented and charismatic coach. Nonetheless, the psychological harm caused by his having entered into sexual relationships with children entrusted to his care far outweighs these accomplishments and necessitates the imposition of grave sanctions," end quote. In that committee hearing, Butler told USA Volleyball that he had a consensual sexual relationship with Sarah. He also said he had consensual sexual relationships with 2 others. Butler told the committee that the relationships with all 3 women began after they turned 18 and were no longer on his team. USA Volleyball banned Butler for life.
Now passers work on getting this good pass.
5 years later, it reversed that decision. Butler was allowed back if he promised he would not coach junior girls.
Appalled. We never realized lifetime ban meant 5 years.
In a statement to First Coast News, the chair of the USA Volleyball Board of Directors, Lori Okamura, called the decision to reinstate Butler, quote, a mistake, and says he is still banned from coaching junior girls in any activity requiring USA Volleyball membership. Butler has never faced any criminal charges. The statute of limitations had expired by the time his alleged victims came forward. He denies ever sexually abusing anyone. Butler's attorney says the allegations are absolutely false, and in a statement says, quote, Rick Butler has never been accused of committing any crime, nor could he be based upon the complete fabrication invented by these women. First Coast News spoke with the 2 other women Butler told USA Volleyball he had had consensual relationships with. Those women alleged the relationships began when they were minors and that the sex was not consensual.
Why would we come forward if it didn't happen? You know, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything. The whole reason why I came forward was to help prevent it from happening to other girls.
49 years old, and there are still times, let me get it together here. It affects me every day. It affects me every day.
Butler continues to coach.
Save it.
Which means that he and Sarah occasionally cross paths at tournaments.
Heard his voice, and I looked up and he was sitting close to my table. And the reaction to me was, I felt sick to my stomach.
Sarah worries she will again come face to face with Butler at the AAU Girls Junior National Volleyball Championships in Orlando next month. She sued the AAU last year to try to force the group to expel Butler. Last week, that suit was dismissed without prejudice, meaning that it can be refiled within 20 days.
The lawsuit is created to force the AAU to ban him from coaching. He was banned 20 years ago from USA Volleyball, and he's still coaching. It's a travesty.
Butler's attorney says the ban was unfair because USA Volleyball, quote, prevented Rick Butler from defending himself by not allowing him to present witnesses in his own defense. Butler's attorney says he's a member in good standing with both USA Volleyball and the AAU, and has coached over 20,000 junior females over the past 16 years without a single complaint.
Keep score here.
But Sarah says the fact he's still on the court shows the AAU is more concerned with making money than protecting young girls.
He's one of the top junior volleyball coaches in the nation and brings a lot of money in. I'm really clear that money is creating a situation where they won't take him out. And that's sad because they're saying money's more important than the safety of these young players.
She says she's speaking out and will continue to do so for one reason.
No one was there for me. If I am doing anything that keeps somebody away from a little girl or gives a voice to a little girl, then it means something to me and I'll keep doing it.
And Sarah tells me she plans to refile her lawsuit against the AAU in the near future. Now, you may be asking, why is the AAU allowing Rick Butler to coach girls? Why is the AAU fighting in court against Sarah Powers Barnhart to make sure that Butler can stay on the court? We reached out to the AAU to ask those questions. And through a PR firm, the AAU responded by simply saying no comment. Now, we asked USA Volleyball if it plans to expel Rick Butler. The organization, in a statement, said for legal reasons it can't respond to that question and went on to say that its commitment to the youth and young athletes is strong and unwavering. And you can read the full statements from Rick Butler's attorneys and more on this story right now on firstcoastnews.com.
Definitely an interesting story. There were a lot of questions being asked. Well, we're learning more tonight about a school bus and an SUV that collided near downtown. We now know that no students were on this bus. We showed this video to you at 5 today. That bus on top of a black SUV. The windshield of that SUV shattered. This all happened behind the Fresh Market. So far, it's still unclear who is at fault in that accident.
Well, it's been a few weeks now since I, with my own eyes, saw a big bear near County Road 210 in St. Johns County. Well, yet another bear has been spotted, this time, though, in Duval County. A First Coast News viewer sent us this picture of what appears to be a 3-foot-tall bear. This is in a neighborhood off of Phillips Highway. It was spotted around 5 o'clock Saturday morning. For the past few weeks, there have been several sightings across the First Coast. If you were outside tonight, you may have seen a huge fireball zooming through the sky. It was a SpaceX rocket that, listen to this, it's larger than a double-decker bus, weighing an astounding 13,500 pounds. It is one of the largest ever launched. Unlike many of SpaceX's other missions, though, the company will not attempt to land it back on Earth. It will instead be placed into orbit, and always an amazing sight to see.
No doubt, especially when it's clear like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. You know, although not everybody had rain on Saturday, the heaviest rains that fell were widespread across the big swamp fire. And so now we've been checking radar, been checking satellite. It's been over 48 hours since we've seen any kind of significant plume. Now, of course, that's great news for those who've been in harm's way, but even for the rest of us, that means again tomorrow, most of us should have excellent air quality. In fact, let's go close to the swamp. Folkston, Hilliard, Woodbine, nice, good air quality out there. Yeah, you're going to heat up to near 90, but that's after you get a nice fresh sea breeze out there. Yulee, Callahan, again, nice, good air quality tomorrow, and then a fresh sea breeze during the afternoon. On the other side of the swamp, though, although not expecting thick smoke with winds out of the southeast, you folks up around Waycross might begin to start smelling some of the smoke. Glenn and Camden County, though, a fresh sea breeze, you're going to be in good shape. Out toward Columbia County, maybe late in the afternoon, you might begin to see actually not see smoke, you might begin to smell some of that smoke. Down around Putnam County, southern St. Johns and Flagler County, you'll be in great shape with the sea breeze. St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra, again, a beautiful day. Clay County looking good as well. Bradford, Union, and Baker, that's the story. Just wanted to get through it, and it looks like it's going to be a nice one. How long will it stay dry? Of course, eventually we will need the rain. Lots of moisture down south. Heavy rains over the next couple of days for the Bahamas and South Florida. Out around the Lone Star State, we start to connect the dots later in the week.